got to sit down with one of the reigning EWC 2025 Warzone champions in ZSmit. Been a very interesting year for the young man between roster changes and public drama, but he is all steam ahead when it comes to the Esports World Cup in 2026. It was great to be able to sit down with him to get how he got started in Warzone, sort of hearing just some of his thought process on some of his different teams that he's had over the years, what it was like winning the Esports World Cup, and now what's going through him and his team, Team Vitality's brain, as they get ready to prepare for the Esports World Cup. This is a great conversation. I always love getting to sit down with Riley and just chat Warzone. He's a really smart kid, and we always have a great time. So without further ado, here we go with a great conversation with none other than ZSmit. All right, I got a chance to sit down with the man, the myth, the legend, ZSmit, aka Smitty, aka Riley, aka the man who's only ever made me cry on broadcast ever. Very excited to be able to sit down with you. We did this about a year ago, and because of who I am as a human being and it being right before EWC, never came out. But I think it's better for the storyline now that here we are doing it here. So Mr. ZSmit, how are you doing today, my friend?
Doing good, man. I'm feeling good.
Did you just wake up, dude? Like, where's the energy? You're so just like chill right now.
You know how I am, though. I'm always like this, no matter what.
You sound like you just woke up, which I like it. You told me that you don't have any scrims this weekend, so that's, you know, I get that maybe you're on a little bit, you know, more relaxed schedule. I wanted to sit down with you to kind of walk through just sort of like your life and your journey in competitive Warzone, but also just some more recent stuff and kind of how you're feeling in that headspace, because I think, you know, when we talk about journeys in competitive Warzone, there's so many cool storylines, and I think yours is a really fun one to be able to tell from a personal standpoint, but also just from an overall standpoint as well. So I kind of want to just like get back to basics, because I think this is something not a lot of people like know about you, is like, why Warzone? You know, it's kind of like the thing, like where did Warzone come from for you? What was the point that you kind of realized like, oh, I kind of got something here and maybe should like start to take it a little bit more seriously?
I mean, it kind of all just stemmed from, I mean, everyone at games has probably played Call of Duty in their lifetime, and I've been playing everyone since, I don't even know, I think Call of Duty 3, going to midnight releases with my older brother and my dad. And then, like, obviously with COVID hitting, no one was working, nothing was going on. I've always been a BR fan. Like, when Fortnite came out, I don't even remember how old I was. I want to say I was like 14, 15, 16.
Makes me feel old, but okay, continue.
And I just remember playing with all my friends on, like, Fortnite, for example, and even Apex back when it first dropped, and Blackout, and just being an absolute freak at Battle Royales. Like, it was to the point where in Fortnite, before you could buy back, my friends would purposely like not want to get rezzed and just like watch me play for like the entire map and basically solo quad.
Mm-hmm.
And then Warzone came around, dropped at literally, I think, the perfect time that any game could have ever dropped. And I was just playing it for a couple months. I think it dropped in March. I was just playing casually for April, May, even June, I think. And then like that July, I think, was like the start when a lot of my friends were pushing me, who watched streamers and stuff. Still to this day, I don't really watch a lot of streams. I don't really watch a lot of esports. Especially with Warzone, like I just prefer to be playing. I mean, watching VODs for comp is one thing, but watching people play is just another.
Sure.
A lot of my buddies who watch streamers and stuff, we would get in lobbies, and I'm like, and they were like, hey, like you just 1v4'd at the time, I think it was like Teep, Symphony. I almost said Wagyu, Wagnificent, and
oh wow,
I'm a little hungry, sorry. And someone else, and then like I ran into like Nuke Squad at the time, and like just like I had no idea who these guys were. Like there was like times I pull up VODs and it was like, oh, like stream sniper, blah blah blah, and it was just funny. But like, and then I was like, oh, like my friend's like, you should definitely try this. So the only person I really ever watched, because I could relate to him on like a personal level of just being like a cool dude and like loves life outside of gaming, is like Nick Merckx, for example.
Sure.
So I'd be watching him, and he started throwing those MFAM gauntlets, and that's literally you know, some of the guys that I started out with, Thugga, Noel, Mario. Um, feel like I'm missing a couple guys. Like, but I met literally all of those guys through the MFAM find a team channel or whatever in his Discord. And then we went in the MFAM gauntlets and it was like KD capped.
Yeah.
So there were some rigs in there. I think who was it? I think it was Attract.
Attract, yeah. Alb, yeah.
Trey. It was Attract, Z Colors, and I think Super Evan.
Probably.
And at the time, I think
that sounds like a KD rig team.
Yeah, I think it was a 10 KD cap tournament, and I think I had a 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was really kind of how it all started. It stemmed out from my IRLs basically pushing me into it, saying like, you loading in, playing with us for fun, dropping 35 kills isn't normal. Like,
yeah,
they're like, you have to play like. And I'm running around quick scoping with like an HDR at the time, messing around, like, and that was really how it all stemmed. I never really thought about it like professional gaming, and that I always knew I was really good.
Sure.
But that's also how I feel like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but like with everything, like I hate being bad at anything.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like part of the, you ask any top player in any discipline, right? And most of them have that type of competitive drive where it's no matter what the thing is, like they hate losing more than you like winning, right? That's like one of my favorite mentalities. And I know you have that. And I know there's a lot of other competitors that we have that are there. And I think that it's even funny to think about like, OG Verdansk, because it's like, today somebody drops 30, 35. It's still impressive today, but it's not as impressive as it was back then. Dude, you'd get a win with 6 and you were like off the dopamine, right? You were like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever, right? For like a casual Warzone player. And then to have somebody like you coming along who's like, yeah, I'm dropping 35. It's like, there's no way somebody is doing that humanely, right? And that's where we kind of get this whole just like crew of people that are like, oh, these guys are insane. They're really, really good. And I think, obviously, I've told this story many, many a time, but the first time that Smitty came onto my radar was we used to do these things called CLX, which was every Wednesday. It was Warzone Wednesdays. And this is when we were doing 2v2s that were total over 2 rather than best of 3s. So it was just, you just played 2 maps no matter what, and whichever duo had the more kills got the win and moved on. We're in grand finals. Smitty's team name is Underrated Boys. It's him and Mario, okay? We go into the second game. Smitty's team is, I don't even remember who you were playing. That's like how much it was like unfazed. I don't even remember who you were fighting against. Smitty goes into game number 2, down 19. And I think there's no way, because it's like, not only do you have to get 19 kills in the game, you then have to still get more than your opposition. And they were like doing pretty good. Obviously, this is grand finals. And they came into game 2. Mario dies early, I think with like 3 kills. And then the other 2 die with like, I think like 6 or 7 each. So like already a pretty solid lead. I'm like, there's no way you're able to come back from this. And I think you literally dropped like 35 or 40 in that one game in order to come back and win. And that's where we were like, I remember that was like the very distinct moment where I was like, oh, there's people who are next. There's another level to this that I didn't realize was there. And you were like the first person, I think, to like paint that picture and be kind of part of that sort of, separate out. So obviously, you have things like the CLX, you have things like, Nick Merck's Gauntlet and stuff. But I kind of want to talk about sort of like those early Verdansk days into Caldera and stuff like that, where you're still like, you're known as this like superstar fragger. And there's somebody who's really, really good at the game, but you're still just kind of like not getting picked up for stuff. You're like very overlooked. What was that sort of process for you, like mindset wise, to try and like kind of get your name out there and make people realize like, no, I actually am like a fierce competitor and your team will be better with me on it?
I mean, I definitely think my level of humbleness has slowly diminished over time.
Yeah.
I mean, I still would say I'm a pretty humble player for the most part, even leading up to now, maybe just a little more smack talk here and there. But just back in the day, it wasn't really like I was stressing over, getting picked up for tournaments. It was more so like I would take every opportunity that was presented to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's one issue that a lot of these kids coming up didn't realize, like, over the past couple of years, even because the invite system back then, and you know yourself, was insane. It was way more for the creator aspect and just like,
You needed numbers.
yeah, you needed numbers or you needed to know someone. It was never about talent. It was never about skill.
Yeah.
It was just who you know or how big of a creator you were. And at that point, it was for me, I was just like still, I mean, still to this day, like I get to wake up and play Call of Duty for a living and like, you know, travel the world to places that I probably would have like my places that my parents haven't seen in their entire lives and like even left the country. Like when I went on a cruise 8 years ago or 7 years ago, I was like, wow, I'm out of the country. Like this is cool. Now I'm flying across the world. But just every opportunity that was presented to me, whether I knew I had a chance of winning or I didn't, it was more so like I wanted to play with whoever it was and basically get those teams as high up on the leaderboard as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And I had people, you know, early on in the stages give me opportunities and let me shine. Even the early days, I was like an odd man for Jukies in FIFA.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that quick little stint.
And it was like, I think the first ever tournament where I actually had a good team was like with Jukies in FIFA, and then also the NYSL 100K or something way back in the day.
Yep.
And it was like a draft, and I remember like I was picked off of a lot of like the early names, and people were like, "What the?" And then we ended up winning. But I think that was just like the biggest thing is capitalizing on those moments and, you know, trying to get whatever team it was that I was on and get them up the leaderboards and just keep making a name for myself. Where now I feel like even some of the up and comers and whatnot, like, because the invite system I would say is way more competitive focused, pending on the format of the tournament, where these kids are like, I have no chance of winning. I'm not playing with that team.
Yeah.
Or I'm not playing with this creator, or I'm not. Where like that is just go play with these creators, go play with these people, build your connections, you know, get the respect from these people who have connections to other competitive players and creators who are like, hey, Smitty's really good. And that's literally how everything started to stem from Verdansk on was, you know, every opportunity that was presented to me, it was like I started playing with like, I would say the smaller creators and working my way up, placing higher in leaderboards. And then it was like, I got moved on to playing with Jukies in FIFA. I started doing wagers with Tommy at the time. And then I played, what was it called? Not CLX. What was the other?
Mainland?
I played a mainland with, I think I played a mainland. No, there was something else. It was like, was it CLX's like partners? Meta Threads? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Meta Monday or something.
Yeah, Monday Night Meta. Yeah.
Yeah, I played with Aiden and me, and because it was like something about you had to play blah blah blah. Like I ended up playing with Aiden. We won that versus a lot of good duos, and then there was also a eFuse 10K where you had to play with someone that was like less than a certain amount of followers or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I got the opportunity with Rated and Aiden. So it's like I literally stem from like playing with, you know, the lowest of the low tier, being the underdog, and then just like these opportunities kept presenting themselves and moving up basically like the ranks and who I got to play with.
Yeah.
And you know, Aiden Rated, I got to play in the Vic like FIFA since like he couldn't make a couple of the Vic Star 100Ks. Like I remember playing with Vic Star and like growing up, like I was like, dude, I'm playing with like, I remember like it being so surreal, like hearing his voice. Cause like I used to watch him on YouTube growing up. Like and it was just like crazy. And then, that's just kind of how everything just stemmed, is just like taking the opportunities and capitalizing on them. And like, not being content with losing, but more so like happy with where, you know,
Yeah.
I was getting to.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta like at some level, you know, you have to have that realization that like, I mean, it's cliche, but it kind of goes back like it's all about the journey rather than the destination, right? And it's like if you're just trying to play Warzone and your brain and you're trying to be part of that competitive sphere and you're only focused on winning, it's like you're never going to have those stepping stones, because I look at players like you or like Dongi, for example, right? Or even Shifty, right? There's so many of like the top players of competitive Warzone now that are considered the best of the best that had to go through that exact type of path where it's like, hey, you're not just going to like come out onto the scene and all of a sudden like be the best, right? You're going to have those tournaments where you play with maybe people who aren't the best, where maybe you're going to have to play with, take whatever opportunity you have. And eventually somebody's going to be like, oh, that kid's a random pickup and is piecing everybody. Now we need to like keep our eyes on them, right? And it's even more so now that we do have more open systems with like the Warzone Resurgence series and World Series of Warzone and EWC, right? We have all of these like open pathways for you to like make a name, and it's not just having to do exactly what you do, but now it's like it's almost like you have double the opportunity to get eyes on you and put your name out there, because not only can you do what you did, but now you can also kind of prove your name through the opens as well. So I'm glad that you bring that up, because I do think that's like for anybody who's like trying to get into competitive Warzone and thinks they have what it takes to be a competitive player, it's like, okay, well, you kind of have to go through some type of path in order to get there. I want to like fast forward this a little bit, because you obviously like, we get the Esports World Cup. Okay, great. You know, that very first year, you, Aiden, and Knight decide to run it together. You know, obviously, I realized that this year that's like the roster that did very well in the CDLR. Shout out that thing from back in the day with Fortune's Keep coming back. You guys go to that first EWC. You do okay. I know it wasn't maybe necessarily as good as you guys had wanted, but you did pretty good. But I want to talk about that next year EWC, because it kind of coincides with like the year that I feel like we felt like Warzone competitive became like a real thing. Like it wasn't just this like mix mash of like creators and people who are individualistically good. Like that second year EWC felt like it was finally people made rosters to win. And it was like, we are trying to complement each other that is there and are feeling, you know, really, really solid about it. And obviously with it being, you know, you, Almond and Aiden at that point, I want to kind of walk me through how you were feeling like leading up to that event, because I think you guys were obviously favorites, but like you weren't looking like far and above like, oh, these guys are going to be right there with Falcons. Like everyone went into that event thinking it was going to be Falcons running away with it, right? And I don't think anybody expected you guys to win. And nobody, I think, was surprised, but I don't know if people were expecting you. Talk to me from like your standpoint leading up to that EWC, kind of how you guys are feeling like as a team, how you personally were feeling, and also just kind of like what were your expectations for yourself kind of ahead of this big event? Because now you're kind of like a vet, right? You're like, all right, I've been here, I'm back again, I'm trying to get revenge.
Yeah. So what was EWC your third LAN ever?
The first yeah, because we had 20.
I think it was
20. No, because wouldn't have. I think 2024 Vegas World Series would have been, because you would have played with DJ and Aiden in that World Series. Was that after? No, that was after. That was after that. No, because the first EWC, right? Because you guys were that big map trio of you, DJ, and Aiden. And remember, it was so weird for the first EWC that you were deciding to bring Knight instead of DJ with you. Because that would have been yeah. 2024, right?
And then Vegas was after the fact.
Yes.
Because we played the first week of July.
Yeah,
so that was, I think that was only was that our second LAN?
That would have been your second as the going in as you, Almond, and Aiden?
No. I'm saying like that EWC, I think, was the second LAN I've ever played at. I think the only other one was London.
Yes, you would have played at London and then probably that one. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, just playing in that EWC environment was like for the first year, I think that just built my confidence as a whole. And then obviously going in, you know, with DJ and Aiden into that World Series as well was, you know, when that roster was formed, so many people had so many questions about the roster and like had no, you know, faith or anything.
No hype.
Like there was some weird rosters that year, but I mean, all year we just did pretty damn good. Like,
yeah,
it was like as funny as it was, and people were like, because we started out a little slow, people were like, oh, blah blah blah, like this team makes no sense, Falcons, and then it was like, every single scrim and tournament, World Series, everything, we were top 3. Like,
Yep.
we were a top 3 roster all year. And you looking at that roster when it first came out, that people are like, okay, this is like maybe a top 15 roster. Like, it has Aiden and Smitty, but like no one gave DJ the respect that, like no one really knew DJ.
Shout out DJ.
But just leading up to like that EWC last year with Aiden and Allman, obviously like post 2024 World Series, roster talk started coming around. We knew EWC was back for another year. We had no idea about World Series, but we knew there was going to be a lot of big map tournaments, and we basically knew. I think we knew at that point Verdansk was coming back.
I think so, yeah.
So we like rosters happened, and obviously there was always a lot of respect for Almond, and just going through things, and it was kind of like, it wasn't really like me and Aiden planned to stay together. It was just like kind of, we just wanted to weigh out all of our options and just see how everything was going to go. And just leading up to it, like we were talking with Almond. Almond was also trying with another team, I think Rated and Scummin at the time. They ended up winning a tournament, and then we ended up, building our roster and forming that. And then leading up to the 2025 EWC, we definitely weren't scrimming as much as we are nowadays.
No, there was like maybe one a week, I feel like, at that time.
And we started to scrim, I would say, closer to EWC, because I remember there was like a big thing, like since Falcons were invited back, no one was letting Falcons in the scrims.
Yep.
And we weren't really winning scrims. We had game plans, we had structure, we had shit written down for like come game day, and still leading up to this day, you could only look at scrims so much with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think even then it was like people were more so in the mentality of not being able to try because it was a smaller prize pool, no money for it realistically, and like only top 3 got paid or whatever. And a lot of these teams that, there's 32 teams for EWC this year. It's like, how many of these teams actually have won a scrim this year? The number's probably like 7 or 8 max.
Yeah.
But I think that it's motivated. I would say this is the most competitive year it's ever been. Obviously, Falcons won Birmingham and Atlanta. Just all around team wise, it's way more competitive. But last year, like, we had this structure and game plan, like come game day. Like, it was like we knew what was around us, what was gonna happen, and with our scrims, we would always play it like the big game was, or the big day was going to be played. Because no matter what, you watch Warzone and you could sit here and there's a whole lot of people that just sit there and spectate and don't really know how different it is, even from a scrim to a 10K, and then from a 10K to a 100K, and then from 100K full of NA teams to $1 million tournament with EU teams also.
Yeah, with literally the best of the best in the world. Like,
World Series is a perfect example. We had all these scrims, not a lot of EU teams, and then you get to World Series, and that World Series played nothing like anything played all year.
Yep.
No one was sniping the entire year, and then World Series, it was like every single team was like triple sniping or like just doing like, it's just things on the big day just always change, and I think that's why we were so like prepared. I don't even know if we won a scrim last year. We might have won 1 or 2 scrims.
I think you won like 1 or 2, but I remember going into that thinking like, this team is really good, but like they haven't won anything, and I think that was like kind of the question that we all had. It was like, yeah, this team's going to be great. They're going to walk away with prize pool money and feel very good about it. But I don't know if they're winning, was I think kind of at least our idea.
We would close on big map easily. Like big map, we would close all the time. But I think the way we would play was just like, we had our things set, our rotations that we wanted to do. We had our defaults of, certain circles, we have to play factory like this, certain circles pulling this way, we have to play this and then rotate through here.
Yeah.
And then we had things in our head, okay, when we're on LAN, there's going to be people landing here, regaining, and we are going to farm kills here. it's factory. You're going to have people in the harbor water. You're going to have people in the school water behind living. And we're not even going to have to go push up to HQ.
Yeah.
Because once people start getting in the blender off rip, we could sit at factory on a factory circle and farm 30 kills.
Yeah.
And that's basically how it was. And we just like took it with a grain of salt. Obviously, you know, you can win as many scrims as you want. You could play perfect COD. We just had like the mentality of like just improving as a team rather than winning scrims.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a huge thing, because come game day, everything's different, and your game plan and structure of what you're going to do as a team is way more important than every scrim leading up to it, where you have 8 filler teams and 8 real EWC teams. Like everything's going to be different.
Yeah.
That one sub where if, for example, say, you know, say this year, for example, okay, you won a scrim, but, you know, say we're conning T1 at train. You won that scrim, but T1 had Scummin instead of Disrupt.
Yeah.
Or like there's
but
so
also
many
like, and like they're all even
variables.
just blatantly up front, like they're off ping, right? Even thinking back to that year, it's like you knew your contest was going to be against Decky and them, but you took that contest in scrims if they were playing off ping all year long. Now everybody's on ping. That's a little bit different, right? It's just inherently, it's just gunfights feel different on LAN. And that all, I love that you bring it up, because it's like, to me, scrims are for like limit testing everything that you're trying to do, right? It's like push yourself to the limit, see what you can really get away with here. Because for exactly that, like you can have that in the back of your brain when it comes to that big day, you know, and it's entirely there. So I love that you guys, I'm curious, who's kind of was the mastermind behind trying to come up with a lot of those strategies and trying to lay it? Was that really like a full bought in team decision, or was that really like one of you trying to drive that forward?
I mean, it was kind of, I would say between like me and Almond, it was like just, we knew that LAN is going to play out different.
Yep.
Obviously me and Aiden went factory the year before, so Almond's like, screw it, we're going to take factory and we're going to go factory. And it was just like, just having that structure and stuff is just so easy to just like default back to things. And I think there's a lot of teams that, I think that's one thing that, like, just for example, I know we haven't got into it yet, but like with the current team now, is we're still learning each other's play styles and everything, and like just trying to build that structure. Like that is one thing that I'm trying to implement to help the team out and like get us better. I think that's one thing that Falcons are very, very good at, is like even using scrims to just try stuff out. Is just having trust and confidence in their plan, no matter what, no matter how their backs are to the wall. And knowing that you can't play perfect COD, but you can change everything in front of you because it's a BR, and you know things are gonna happen. You're gonna have to deal with stupid plays. But yeah, it was me and Almond for the most part would like just have defaults, and then like Almond was really good with the anchor spots, like finding out like when people were close to him, if me and Aiden were far away, like people that became threats and situations to losing our POI and whatnot.
Gotcha. Yeah, I always love kind of like, you know, because realistically our esport is still so new, and sort of those are like the fundamentals that I think about, and I'm always curious, so who's the one trying to drive that forward, and who's kind of trying to think 9 steps ahead to solve those things. But obviously, hey, all of the prep, everything you guys did that year came out clutch. You know, we get to that point where it's a match point game. All of a sudden, it's, you know, 4 or 5 teams all on match point that were there. Talk to me about that last game. What were some of the comms for you guys? What was really like the game plan? Because obviously you guys knew like, hey, we have a chance to win this here, but with so many other teams, like almost a third of the lobby being on match point, that lobby's going to play vastly different than any other lobby of Warzone you have ever played. So, I mean, what were some of the thoughts and comms for you guys heading into that victory lobby, and sort of what was going through your head the second you guys are top control and you realize like, holy shit, we're about to just win the Esports World Cup?
So I just want to go back maybe 20 minutes, 30
Yeah,
minutes
yeah, yeah.
before that winning game to Gentlemates absolutely running all the match point teams on that last map.
Yep.
Same exact circle, same exact literally everything back to back, which makes it, and we were in the same exact position both games. So the game, we honestly, I think we would have won the game before too. We had an advanced UAV in our pockets rotating. So our game plan always was to, on those control circles, because 100 Thieves would win a lot of them,
Yep.
um, was play through the tunnel in
Yep.
prison. And that's where we were. We positioned ourselves. I think, I don't know if it was the game we won a match point, but one of them we ran into, was it AG? Was it Nate Scummin rated? Was that AG last year? I think
Yep.
it was.
Yeah.
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 We ran into them and we cleaned them out of the tunnel, and then we took control of that for the pull. But that game before, we ended up losing or not buying or popping one of the UEs, so we never had an advanced. And Gentlemates were ghosted when a lot of people, I think, were running tempered last year, and got the jump on us, and then we get wiped, and we were like, okay, like it's going to another map. And our game plan was kind of like, we need to still play the game like we're used to playing. Like, we can't just like hunker down and fully focus on the win, because then that's like, okay, you ran past 4 teams to get in good position, and now those 4 teams are all going to collapse on you.
Yeah.
Where it's like you run through and wipe 2 or 3 of those teams, then you got one other team with you that's probably going to get shot on the cross, and it's way easier to hold out one team in that tunnel. Going into that final map, we see the same circle, same game plan. And we literally like said it after we won the entire thing, like, dude, I thought that was our chance and we missed it. Like, we thought like we fucking blew it by not winning that game before. And then just going down in the tunnel, I actually think it was match point. We flew down the stairs and like showers, bottom prison, and flew down into the tunnel. We traded each other out. There's like a cool Codcaster POV of like all 3 of us trading each other out and like triple sliding onto AG in the tunnel and just wiping them super super quick and fast. And then it was just like the same thing. And literally Warzone, especially with gas plays and gas masks, I mean, besides right now with the stim meta, was a game of seconds and timing. And 100 Thieves rotated 3 seconds too early.
Yep.
Maybe. We see them rotate, we re-wrap up and get top control. And we go to like trade out reses and stuff, and like we all had selves, like blah blah blah. Yeah. And I think we burn like all 3 of ourselves instead of one person selfing and tap. And then Almond is literally the sliver of health in gas, because no, like I was like, let me tap, and someone, I forget, I don't even remember because it was so hectic.
You're just blackout in that moment.
I was like, let me tap, and no one let me tap, and I'm like, oh, like in my head, I'm like, oh no, this is like the adrenaline pumping. And I'm like, I hope we're good. And the circle is like, we see the circle moving towards like the corner of control, and I'm looking at Almond's health in the bottom left, and I'm looking at our health, and then he's like resing us, and he's like got his character like positioned like head in the corner of the roof to try to get to like the closest point of gas to be able to breathe. I think he was literally 1 tick of gas from dying.
No, he was literally so low.
And then we're able to get all the reses off. Get the reses off and then pop up. And then I think Aiden peeks and gets knocked by a bullet or a grenade because he was 1 shot or something. And and it was, this is where like it's just chaos and adrenaline and like just blacking out. But it was either I told Almond that like, or I think Almond was like, Smit, chow. And instantly I like snaked twice and popped up, and I think I killed Lennon on the cross.
Yep. Yeah.
I threw a Molotov at the back of the truck at control on the right side. Almond saw that and threw a thermite on the left. And literally it just burned Echo. and just burned Echo to death. And then 100 Thieves was under us trying to sky thermobaric
Yep. Yeah,
us.
they were trying to skynade you. And that's what I remember. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh, like, because you guys were all so low. I'm like, dude, one nade here and it like completely just doesn't matter, you know? Like,
Yeah. So they were throwing thermobarics, but those would blow up before they could hit the ground. Like if the building was a little taller, we would have been wiped.
yep.
And then we got the 2 bloods on Lennon and Echo, and that makes FIFA like know that he can't play there. And then I don't even remember who it was. One of us wraps around like towards the prison hill and jumps down, and then I'm staying on the roof because I'm like, okay, like I want to let my teammates get the angles. Like I kind of have the feel of like where everyone's at in this scenario. And then FIFA went down low,
Yep.
and fought 100 Thieves, and
Yeah.
then like I remember looking in the top right, hearing them fighting, and I'm like, holy shit, we won. Like before the game was over, I was like, holy shit, we won. Like I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I killed Lennon on the cross,
Yeah.
I knew we won.
Yeah.
As soon as the guy got behind the truck and I threw the Molotov there and I'm shooting at him through the truck, I knew someone was gonna swing at that point. And like as soon as that guy in the truck dies, we could just hop on that truck and have control of the entire gas, because I knew everyone at that point was in gas. You could tell Vision Esports, right? That was their team.
Yeah.
Was on that little wall towards the boat. 100 Thieves wrapped way early, and it was just like I was like, oh my god, we won. And I just remember like in that moment, like I think the adrenaline like dropped. Like I was like calm when it was like a 3-on-1, and then it was like, oh my gosh, like I just remember like ripping my headphones and the earbuds off, and I was like, don't break this setup. I was like, don't, because like the glass walls were behind us, and I was like getting ready to like slide my chair out and send it across like through the glass.
That would have been sick though.
I was like ready to throw my headphones, and like you could, I think literally in the clip you see me, I'm like,
yeah,
I like can't get my earbuds out. And I'm just like, oh, like I just remember like screaming. It was such a cool way to end it, but it was also so stressful at the same time, just thinking that we had it in our fingertips and just lost it because of like a simple mistake the game before.
Yeah. I think that like it's so cool to hear that, because I think it just goes to show, I mean, just hearing the resiliency, obviously, even just for the 3 of you, right? You're all on completely separate teams now coming into this year. We'll kind of, bring that up to this year. It's like, but just all 3 of you now, also all 3 being top competitive teams, that's like ice in your veins, veteranship experience that only 3 other players in the world have, right? Like, the Falcons know what that's like, and it's you guys know what that's like, right? And it's just to kind of have that and be able to sit down with your teammates and say, hey guys, even like you're good, because like if you guys have that same situation, right, where it's we should have won that map, we don't, you now get to be the voice and I'd be like, guys, I was in this position last year. You know what we did? We still came back out. We still won. We're still in this, like, let's lock in, let's just like stick to our game plan, all of this stuff. And that's where the veteranship kind of comes on through. And that's what has me so excited, is for all 3 of those teams, you all now, all 3 of you have that experience to kind of lean back on. But to kind of have that, I mean, did you feel like it was a relief kind of coming over you in that moment of like, this is all the hard work. This is like, because like realistically, this is not just like a year's worth of energy for you. This is like, I mean, what, almost 5 years probably worth of like work and time and effort and sacrifice. Kind of feels like maybe it's all finally coming together, and maybe it was all worth it. Did you have like a little bit of like wave of relief come over you because of that? You can
Not
say
really.
no. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, no, like I'm just trying to think about it, because like I literally was talking about, I forget who I was talking to. It might have been an interview or whatever, but like when we walked from our setups to the key destroyer thing, I don't remember walking there. Like I just teleported. Like I was teleporting around that night. Like it was like, obviously it was like I was like blacked out drunk or something. I don't know. It was just like it was such a like just a adrenaline rush constantly. But like I wouldn't say it was like a relief. It was kind of like more of like 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 I wanted that for so long, and it was like, okay, I finally got one, but we have, like I've proved everyone wrong. Maybe I'll finally get the respect I deserve. And more so just like, I mean, in my brain, it was like, okay, we won. Let's go back to back now with World Series.
Yeah.
Um, it was just like I mean, the whole thing didn't even feel like real. Like it didn't. I would say maybe that sign of relief came like a week or two after when it like finally like settled
Sure.
in.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it was more so like all of the doubt and all of the disrespect and the being underrated and being, overlooked, and all the smack talk all year back and
Yeah.
forth, just everything is just like, not that we were like that close the year before, like we got third, but like the amount of big events where it was like fourth in World Series in 2023, fourth or third in the year
Yeah.
before in 24, EWC third, like just all these big events is like, I was like, hey man, finally, like it's about
Yeah.
time. Like,
Yeah, it's almost like worse. Like it's almost like it's a way easier to be a team that like nobody expects to win and kind of come out of nowhere and win than be a top 3, top 4 team for so long that's just like never been able to win anything. And now you're like, okay, hey, can I finally win one, please? And now you finally have it. It's crazy. I love that you bring up, you use a word there, underrated. And overlooked. And I think I want to dovetail that in kind of this year because obviously this has been an interesting year for yourself, right? We kickstart the year. You have this godlike Twisted Minds roster, right? Obviously, Aiden is not on the team anymore. You bring in arguably the best in the world, or one of the best in the world, you can say, in Shifty, and things are looking good. They're looking very good, actually, very early on, right? You're kind of beast moding teams. All of a sudden, the Falcons are not as dominant as we expected them to be, and it's looking crazy. And then you kind of go through this thing where I think once everybody kind of learns the game, we now have map rotation. So it's not only just being good on Haven's Hollow, you now have to be good on 2 different maps and have all those game plans and strategies. And that's obviously going to add more stress to it as well. And then there's a little bit, you make the decision to step away from that team and go to a different roster that's there. Obviously now in Vitality alongside Skullface and Sage. Do you think that you're kind of riding back a little bit of that energy of being an underrated player and kind of proving to everyone that you're like, hey, like I'm here to win and I'm here to help elevate whatever roster I'm on, kind of as you said earlier on, and you did that at the start of your career, and here we are, you have your face in game and you're still trying to do the same thing here of I'm trying to elevate whatever roster I'm on.
yeah. I mean, there's just been a lot of noise all year.
Yeah.
Whether it's from competitors, whether it's from, the scene, chats, fans, of just this thing as if like I'm not the same player I was last year.
Yep.
And it's more so I wouldn't say I'm underrated. I feel like I'm just at a point of just being disrespected. And I
Okay.
was constantly all year. By just literally like competitors, everyone in general. I have a unique play style, which I think ultimately led to I have a different thought process in a lot of fights
Sure.
and scenarios, which I think led to a lot of the headbutting
The friction.
with yeah, with each other, and just the miscommunications and mistimings. And Shifty is, for example, probably the fastest player in the game. Like the speed that he plays at, it just when we got to land, both lands we were crying together. Like both lands were way different than all the scrims and stuff. But yeah, things just didn't end up working out.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just a point of being disrespected. I mean, I think we've shown a lot of potential already.
I agree.
I mean, you you saw the NA qualifier finals. I mean, people could sit there and say like, "Oh, it doesn't have the top teams." That's still a lobby full of teams qualifying for EWC. That's still a lobby full of pro
Yeah.
teams. Um, I also think that that shows POIs and the power in POIs on maps, especially with cons. I mean, we got to literally land at Mansion and Control Center unconned. So
And kind of
for
ran
us,
worlds when you were unconned at some of the best POIs in the game.
I think I forget how many points we had. We might have had like 260 points or whatever, which I think we averaged like 26 points a map or something throughout that entire qualifier. But yeah, we played insane.
You had 260. For Fun had 199.
Yeah. So
over 10 games.
We played insane. I think I had like a 6 point something KD in versus pro players. Like, and like as much as I would like to sit there and say, you know, that people look at that and they're like, oh, like blah blah blah, like Smitty's back. Like, I'm not fighting Shifty. I'm not fighting Dongy. I'm not fighting, you know, and that's the fourth time that I technically qualified for going to Paris. Like, it was
fourth time's the charm, man.
It's more so like lit. I mean, there's been a fire lit under my ass all year.
Yeah,
I would say. It was just like a lot of stuff behind the scenes just kept making it worse, and just you know, basically taking a fire extinguisher and putting that fire out from all sides.
Yeah.
But now is like, it's like I went from the top and now I'm back to not, this isn't like a diss to playing with Sage and Skull, like saying we're back at the bottom, but like we kind of are in the sense of no chem, brand new team, weaker POIs, and just learning playstyle. So it's like, it's just literally flipped the script entirely. And it's more so like, I wouldn't say me being underrated. Did this freeze on you?
Yeah, I think your cam shut down.
Hang on.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. It's not a diss to the boys or anything.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, it's just a huge change for me. Like,
you change for anyone, dude. To go from the literally best team in the game, you're a champion, and now you're not playing with the same team, and it's a whole brand new team right before, or I mean, you're like 3/4 of the way through the season, and you're now having to like make this change. Anybody, I don't care who it is gonna like, that's a tough situation to be in.
And not only that, it also like, I know that we can do this shit though. Like, I'm not, there's not like an ounce of doubt that sits in me, and it's like, hey, like, and we just got to play for top 5. Like, that's not an option. Like, I know this team can win. Sage has won World Series on LAN, and Skull has won a World Series of Warzone and a solo YOLO on LAN, and got second at World Series, second at EWC, and whatever 100 Thieves finished at last year. But also for me, people just think things are going to instantly click.
No.
And I think that's something where people look at, like, say, Twisted, for example, currently. Sure, Blast can go hop in with Almond and Shifty and land at Mansion with them, and then like get used to the, you know, the play style when they could just go land Mansion, you know, be unconned and stuff. I think that's like, this isn't like me trying to be a crybaby about it or anything. It's just, I think it's just easier for them to build that chemistry by doing that.
Yeah.
Than where we're landing at, I would say. Train is a weaker POI, in my opinion.
And you're getting conned by at least one team, if not some games, depending on zone, 2, maybe 3, like, you know, that are there.
So trying to build that chemistry, and then also deal with the teams that are in scrim some days, sometimes not, sometimes con, sometimes not, sometimes we're triple conned. and just that RNG factor.
Yeah.
One thing we've been doing very well is just trying to try shit out, try new POIs, land at different spots, go fight different places.
Yeah.
When POIs are free, just land there just to be able to get the reps. And with this team, I definitely need my voice to be heard way more, where I was very quiet all year this year.
Yeah. I mean,
So
two kind of pretty vocal players on your old team, right? And I know Ben doesn't exactly put himself out there as that, but in game, hey, Ben's IGL, he's considered one of the best in the game for a reason, right? And it's if Ben's talking, you're going to listen. And Shifty's also very vocal, and you can't have three super vocal voices the entire time. So I don't think you were wrong for necessarily trying to take a little bit of the back seat, but I agree with you now. I think you can be a lot more of a driving force on this team, as well.
Yeah. So I would just say it's everything from here on out is not only thinking like take every day to get 1% better as a team.
Yep.
Is a great mentality, but not when you have less than 100 days, you can't get 100% better. So like we have to basically do it at a 2 or 3% rate.
Yeah.
Or a 4% rate over the next, I mean, we have 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I think
5 weeks. Yep.
And we just started getting scrims with EU teams. We just started to have these cons and deal with this stuff. And I mean, we won the Fortune's Keep 21K, which I felt like was pretty damn impressive as a brand new team with zero chemistry
on a brand new map. I think that was impressive to me because it felt like that was a little bit more of a level set playing field, right? Like obviously most people have played Fortune's Keep before, but we haven't played it competitively, in a while. And so that fact that you guys can now in a more level playing field comparative to the top teams that are there, and you're able to come out with that win, I think that does say a lot, right? Where you're like, hey, when we're able to feel like we're on a level playing field, we're just as good as these other teams. So I think you definitely should have some high stock in that tournament win.
Not only that, but this whole thing that I've basically just been trying to like get across is like it's kind of we're in a spot that our backs are against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot to prove, and for me, like I feel like I have so much weight on my shoulders now more than ever to like not in a bad way, but like weight that I'm putting on myself to make this team and help this team get so much better because I know what I can do to rosters and what I can do to teams and like where I could get us on the leaderboard that like I get so frustrated at myself in moments and I'm still learning, how to get back to, the consistency and the player and the thought process and the voice that I've had.
Yep.
Where I want this team, like, one, I want to, do it for Vitality. I want to do it for, Sage and Skull. I want to do it for Ebates. Like, I want this team to be like, damn, this team got flipped from a top 24 roster in the world to a top 5 roster in the world.
Yeah.
And I think there's days where we show that. I think there's days where we come out flat.
Mm-hmm.
There's also some days where people don't realize we're just trying shit out and we don't really care about the leaderboard at the end of the day. It's the same thing I say with scrims. But the 100K was a humbling experience. We didn't qualify. We were just going chalk for chalk with every team. Us and T1 both didn't qual.
Yeah.
We're both landing train on circles that are ending in the bottom right corner in the ocean of lumber. So it's like we both didn't qualify, but it's just like instead of being frustrated, it's just taking everything with a grain of salt and just learning from every mistake, every loss, every scoreboard. And also for me, learning to play sides of the map and parts of these maps that I haven't played.
Yeah.
Think from like my POV, I've played Factory for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've rotated out of Factory.
Who cares what's going on in Bio? You've never had to worry about that side of the map. Who cares what's going on in Control Boat?
I've probably shot my gun in bio in like scrims or EWC or anything, probably like a max of 10 times in the past 3 years. Like, and people just don't see it as that. It's just, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just the truth. It's
No,
like,
it is.
how many times have I been in the Stronghold Tower since EWC? Shit. Once. And it was this year. We PA'd the tower and took the tower. It's just like people don't see that side of things. It's just like building these tendencies to fight around the map. Yeah, sure, you can go in ranked. It's whatever.
Yeah,
But
rank's a little bit different than competitive Warzone scrims. Even,
yeah,
you know, like
so it's about me learning these new sides of the maps, like little head glitches, little angles that I could get shot from,
Yeah.
little hop ups. It's just a learning curve for me, and I've been playing so much of the game, whether it's pubs, whether it's off stream, just trying to just learn stuff. I've been, looking at drop maps. I've been building call outs for our team because we all call things differently. And it's definitely, there's times like our comms are really shit. And like, I've like definitely like talked to the boys like, hey, we need to get on the same page about calling these things. This is huge. This is going to be the 3 seconds in a gunfight that's going to take it from us winning the fight to us losing the fight because we calm something wrong and just do something dumb.
You have to have that processing time of like, oh, you said this. Oh, this is what he means. Okay, now I know where to look like over there.
So it's just like I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself and weight on my shoulders because I want this team to be great. Like I want to go into Paris being like, damn, we have a home crowd. Like, and I have expectations now. My, Sage got what did VB get last year? Third?
Yeah, they were up there.
I think they might have got third because I think Falcons got bumped to fourth and 100 Thieves got bumped to fifth, and then Gentlemaids took second.
Yeah.
But so like, and then Skull got fifth, all match point teams. The year before, Skull got second at EWC. I got third. And I have this mentality in my head where the past 3 lands, aside from World Series last year, I've never placed outside the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
And World Series last year, I mean, we got 9th and we played awful. Yeah. Like, at World Series was probably our worst performance as a team ever last year.
Yeah.
And it was just unfortunate. But I just like, I'm not that I'm more motivated than ever, but I just know there's more weight on my shoulders than ever. Yeah. I obviously love my teammates, just good ass dudes, good humans. But just finding my voice and like getting back to that, saying my thoughts and like helping the team out. And like hearing the way my teammates already talk about they want my voice heard and like how many aspects of the game that I like talk about and stuff that they don't think about and certain things.
Yeah.
It's just I have like I just have a lot of weight in my shoulders and I just want to screw all the noise, screw all the chats. People will watch one map of a scrim and think they know anything about Warzone comp. Like I think way too many people, even in the comp scene as players, take what streamers, other competitors, chats, and take what they say and take it to heart or whatever. But like at the end of the day, all that matters is like, who cares if you got last in qualifiers leading up to EWC, but you made it in? It doesn't matter until that day. Go fry the hell out. Yeah. Like just stop thinking about what other people think and everything. It's like I like to read it because I just laugh at it and it's funny and it's like I use it as motivation, but some people use it to like beat themselves up and it's like you can't. Like little Johnny with a fucking 0.7 KD in a Twitch chat that's watched 3 scrims. Who cares? Because this guy's his favorite streamer, he's gonna say crazy things about people that like this guy talks about. But I just like I want this team to be great and we have some work to do, but it's exciting and I like it. It's more of a challenge. But I also, me, I love coming from an underdog aspect where last year it felt like, and this year it was like, hey, you're the favorite or you're one of the favorites.
I mean, realistically, at the end of the day, man, it was your decision to step away from that Twisted Minds roster, right? And so I think you're I think it makes a lot of sense why you feel that weight on you, right? It wasn't like you got dropped, right? If you got dropped, it'd be easy, I think, to go into a new team and just be like, screw it, whatever, but like, no, this was your decision. And now you have to back up that decision that you made, that, hey, I made this for me. I made this so that way I could do it. Well, I need to do what was best for me in this moment. And now it needs to kind of work out. But I'm excited for it, man, because I think I really like that roster. Obviously, huge fans of Sage and Skull. I think you all, I think you all kind of have no ego and you all just want to win. And for the reasons that you outlined, everybody's trying to be aligned on that exact same sort of lineup of if I had to make a list, man, of people who with backs against the wall that I would not want to be against, I think it's you three, right? I mean, all three of you have been in these positions where people have doubted you and backs against the wall and that you didn't think you were going to be there. And then all of a sudden you just go out and you shock the world and prove everybody wrong, all three of you. So I think while maybe some people might be overlooking and undervaluing your team because of tier lists and just looking at results and stuff like that, I think they would be sorely mistaken, because I think when it comes time to that first day of EWC, it's an entirely different game. You're on land, you have the veteranship, you have the experience, and I think EWC is going to be very, very cool. Hey, thanks, man, for taking the time to sit down and talk through. I always love getting a chance to talk with you, but just hearing even just like through some of those like EWC moments and how you're approaching this year and how you're improving little by little is always really cool to get into the mind of a competitor. And you're obviously, I think, one of the smartest. And obviously we got some news around you this year and stuff like that. So I always love hearing from you. But before we go, I just want to say anything you want to say to any Vitality fans, any fans of Smitty, any fans of competitive Warzone that you just kind of want to have some final words for.
Man, I mean, I just want to say I hope to see a lot of the Vitality fans out there. I know, I haven't been a part of the team I actually think it's been a month as of yesterday I've been a part of the team. I hope to see them show out. I hope to, make Vitality, the org, and the fans proud. And, yeah, I mean, to the competitive fans and everything, shit, I know a lot of them are against me right now, so I don't care. But for the people that know me and have been supporting me, I appreciate it. My chat's it's cool to see like my chat grow and community grow over the years. Yeah. And I used to be like, oh my gosh, this guy's favorite streamer, he's just yapping in this chat saying stupid stuff. But now I'm like seeing people from my community go say like stuff about me, so it's cool to get to that point. But I mean, no, just in general, just also shout out to Call of Duty and everyone that's been taking care of the competitive scene this year. Yeah. To be able to play 3 LANs this year is pretty freaking cool. And travel the world again, and I know there's a lot more in store for the future, but at the end of the day, we can't, we got to be grateful for what's in front of us, and just we get to wake up and play video games for a living and travel the world. And next up, EWC, and got a lot of work to do, but I promise we're gonna get better, and we're gonna shock a lot of people.
All right, hey man, I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and chat. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. Let me know, what is your favorite part? Are you a Vitality fan? What are you most excited for when it comes to the Esports World Cup? But yet again, huge shout out to Smitty for taking the opportunity to sit down and chat with me over the last hour.